It's Week 9 of the National Football League, and we'll be watching the Falcons, reigning league MVP. Everyone's still in awe of his last game, passing Norvell Brocklin's 1951 mark of 5.
So out head the Falcons for their first possession, and they'll be led out by their fourth-year quarterback.
And how do you really build on setting a new NFL record last week? I'm not sure you can. What we saw out of him might go down as his single greatest performance in an NFL uniform. What he can do, and we'll try to do here, is carry that momentum from last week into this week and go get them another win.
That's caught. He found some space. One of the game's biggest plays right there as they get the markers reset. Well, he sure has come out throwing a good ball today, and the passing game has really been clicking early on thanks to his efforts.
Yeah, his plays really elevated the start his pass catchers have been able to have as a result. And you know what they're all thinking right now? This could be a game where we all get to put up some serious numbers, especially if he keeps throwing it like this.
It began at the 30 and has now jumped to 1st and 10 all the way down inside the red zone. And they will score. It's an Atlanta touchdown! The Falcons take a 6-0 lead right away. An early reminder that while you're trying to account for all the options they've got on offense, Brock, you also got to be wary of how well he can run the football, too.
You know, one of the questions that I love that you ask in our production meetings to these D coordinators is, anything keeping you up this week? Anything this offense does in particular that's going to be really bothersome? And it's just this. Time and again, right? A quarterback that can run is such a weapon.
Trying to throw here out of the gun. He's on the move. Big gain downfield. All the way. That's an Atlanta touchdown. The Falcons need only one to take the lead. It's a Bijan Robinson touchdown. So, Brock, this offense starting to find its rhythm a bit as they finish things with a touchdown there to give them the lead.
And the key word there that you said is finish, because you want to have that mindset, even early in the game, that field goals aren't going to cut it. So that's great work to make sure they finish with 6 points.
Back to pass on 1st and 10. Nabbed by Kyle Pitts. Through the middle. 30. He's at the 10. And he's into the end zone for an Atlanta touchdown. The Falcons grow their early lead to 13. Kyle Pitts with a touchdown. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. It has been wash, rinse, repeat for them offensively, Brock, as, well, we all wait for this defense to find a little backbone before this becomes a runaway.
Yeah, I'm a little torn up here in this booth because you're exactly right. Offensively, this is just machine, surgical. Defensively, you're running the risk of being embarrassed here pretty quickly.
throw on first. Rolling left, buying some time. On the ground, game works for the touchdown. The Falcons parlay the interception into points. It's what every player who scores a touchdown wants to do, Brock. He wants to get right back there and put another 6 on the board.
I've never met an NFL player content with one end zone trip in a game.
Nope.
Yeah, if you're content, you're not making it to this league. You get one, you're instantly thinking of another, and the fortunate few are able to actually deliver on it.
Airing it out to start this drive. And a man is there to knock that away.
With all due respect to some of the great linebackers back in the day, to play the position today, man, you've got to be versatile. You can't just be a come up and stuff the run. You got to play coverage. And these defenses more and more rely on you to break up throws just like that.
Getting out to his left. Now here he goes. It's a 30-yard play, Brock, and they've got a fresh set of downs. I'm just taking a guess here, Brock, that they were so concerned with his passing prowess that they forgot this dude can deal quite a bit of damage with his legs, too.
Yeah, this is where offenses in the NFL are blurring with the college game. They want guys running the show who can light it up through the air, but just as often torch you on the ground with numbers normally reserved for running backs.
And that's going to be knocked away, incomplete. Well, no look on his first look of the game. And now they face second down. Back to throw. Forced out to his right. He can run it. And he goes out close to that 45-yard line.
Well, you don't get the first down, but I'll tell you this, Kate, that drives a defense and a defensive coordinator nuts. They do everything right. They win, and yet still QB makes something out of nothing.
Buying some time left. He's running for it. And they can't chop to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. They clearly haven't been giving his running ability the respect it deserves, considering what he's been able to do to them on the ground thus far.
If you want to destroy the morale of a defense, have a running quarterback like this. Because you can do so many things right, but this is the X factor you can't contain.
First down, ball at the 36. Shotgun snap, they're gonna throw. Chased out to his right. Fits it through the middle. And this play reaches the 12-yard line before the stop is made. The early returns on the stat sheet have been good so far, partner. He's off to the exact kind of start they were hoping he'd have.
Yeah, you can just feel the rhythm, the timing, the tempo. And that ball is zipping all over the field.
Rolling down to his left. And they will score. It's an Atlanta touchdown! The Falcons continue dominating in our opening half. Well, Brock, you know this better than most. In baseball, it's 3 strikes and you're out. I know you experienced that a lot, but on the gridiron, you're feeling pretty happy, right? If you can strike the end zone 3 times in one game.
Yeah, I'd rather go hockey and soccer. That's just the positive guy in me. They call that a hat trick. It's worth celebrating.
Look at you.
And yeah, they should celebrate this effort.
To throw it on first down. He's gonna push one deep. They connect on the deep shot. The 30. Gets the 10. Touchdown, Atlanta. The Falcons running away with it in the second quarter. Drake London with the touchdown. Well, that right there, Brock, is saving all of your guys a whole lot of work. I see 10 dudes breathing easy out there, and only one of them out of breath, and he's the one holding that football in the end zone.
Are you sure about that? Because you know what I love about these moments?
What?
I love especially going back and watching them on tape and watching the big guys. Watching all those O-linemen. Certainly some are going to walk, some are going to wave, but eventually...
Shotgun snap, looking to throw. Buys time, rolling right. That's grabbed inside the 30. And he's into the end zone for an Atlanta touchdown. The Falcons ballooning the first half lead even further. So sensational work by the skill man there, Brock. Anytime you can make your quarterback look that good, you know he appreciates it.
That's a quarterback's best friend, no question. But on the other side, gosh, defensively, you got to get that skill player down. Period, end of story. You can't give up that much yards after catch.
Back to throw on 1st and 10. Flush down out to his left. Finds a seam. Left side. He's off to the races. And he's into the end zone for an Atlanta touchdown. The Falcons making this a laugher before halftime. Drake London with the touchdown. His second scoring catch of the game. Ooh, baby, Brock, this one has gotten well out of hand.
You think so? I think this is utter domination. Going to be a lot of questions to be answered. I'm going to guess this is a press conference the coach isn't looking forward to.
Now they'll throw out of the gun. Escapes out to the left. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. It's a gain of 27 yards to move the chains.
Well, I can promise you, that was the goal from the moment he took off. He kept his eyes locked on the chains, and it's almost like he had a spidey sense. He knew exactly where to get in order to move the sticks and get that critical first down.
Great start to the drive. They're up in the neighborhood of midfield after just one play. Pass play on 1st and 10. Caught, nice gain left side. And he's into the end zone for an Atlanta touchdown. The Falcons continue dominating in our opening half. Kyle Pitts with a touchdown. His second scoring catch of the game. And that right there, Brock, is a touchdown I think our fellow broadcaster Greg Olsen would be proud of. A big strike to the tight end that I don't think a lot of receivers could have pulled off and make it look as easy.
You know, a lot of times you're splitting hairs talking about the differences between tight ends and receivers at this level because a lot of those guys, they work the same route tree and they move with the football, well, just like their receiver teammates. And they can score some lengthy touchdowns too, just like he showed off.
They're going to throw here to begin the drive. He'll fire it deep back. He's got it at the 30. And he flips the field for them before being taken down. Well, so far, they've got to be pretty happy with how he's been leading their offense. It has been a great start.
And I'd hesitate to say it's only going to get better, especially if they really decide to keep running this offense through that quarterback's arm.
Sets him up nice and pretty at the 25 following that big play. Throwing now on first down. Now he takes it. And they take this in for the score. The Falcons get more points to end a lopsided first half. Well, Brock, it looked like it took the full defense a while to recognize that he was actually running with it. I think it limited their ability to stop what turned into a pretty impressive touchdown.
I think you're exactly right on this one, Kate. Not too many scrambles go this far for a touchdown. And you got to give some credit to the guys around him. None of those receivers, tight ends, well, they just sold it. They didn't look back at him. Had they? I think the defense is able to react and stop that touchdown. Instead, that's 6 big points on the board.
To throw here on first down. On the move, headed right. It's a 33-yard gain and a fresh set of downs. Well, when this guy's got it going on the ground, Brock, there isn't a more exciting player on the field, and he has certainly been the most fun to watch in this one.
Yeah, he's been fun for you and me, Kate, but not this defense. You know, I remember asking Pete Carroll some years ago, is it harder than ever to play defense right now because of all the rules and regulations, everything else? He said, oh, yeah. And throw in these dual-threat quarterbacks, they're a nightmare as well.
And how about this? A 600-yard game, Brock. You know firsthand, you got to be close to perfect to even flirt with 500. And he's been that and then some. He's reached a mark that no quarterback has gotten to before. Escapes the pocket. Escapes a defense. And he will score. Touchdown, Atlanta! The Falcons push their lead further to start the half. And he's done it so many times before in just this game, Brock. There he is again in the end zone leading that celebration.
I think they're running out of ways to celebrate.
I think so, too.
Right? They work on these things. They love these celebrations. But, my gosh, he's made a habit of visiting the end zone. And it's his effort. It's his want to. It's his will that has carried this offense forward for much of the game.
They'll come out throwing. Finds a seam down the middle. And he's into the end zone for an Atlanta touchdown. The Falcons pick it off and get points on the ensuing drive. A second touchdown through the air for him, Brock, and independent of the game situation, we both know he's going to be happy to leave the field with 2 of them in one game.
1 touchdown, you just might be right time, right place. But 2 touchdowns in a game is always about the preparation. The separations and the preparation. It's doing that work on the practice field and knowing before the game that when my number's called, I'm going to be there to deliver.
To the air now on 1st and 10. He's on the move. Has room down the left sideline. And they will score. It's an Atlanta touchdown. The Falcons continue adding to an insurmountable lead. Oh, baby! He got loose, and after a few steps, there was nothing they could do to stop him. That, Brock, is the definition of a home run play.
You know, and when you go to draft, sign, or trade for a skill guy, you want him to have that kind of threat, that kind of breakaway speed. You don't always have to be a 4-3 guy on the track. You just have to be a guy that once you get in that open field,
throwing with a blitz on the way. Rolling left, buying some time. Throwing. He's got it deep downfield. And he's into the end zone for an Atlanta touchdown. The Falcons are running them out of the building. Drake London with the touchdown. His 3rd through the air this game. Now, I know that's one of his favorite routes to run, Brock, but that has got to be one of a quarterback's favorite throws to make as well, right? Drop it in over the defender and take the lid off the D for 6.
because it is so simple. It's something that these two have done and thrown together for years and years. Maybe not to each other, but since Pop Warner. They've been running the go route. Just run right by him, and if you're even, you're leaving, and I'm going to drop it right over the top.
And he's got a free play here. He rolls to his right. He'll get this complete to Mooney. And they take him down, but there's a flag on the play. Easy call for the officials there. He was offsides at the snap, and that's going to cost him.
Still first down.
A 1st and 5 to begin this drive following the penalty. Back now, pressure on its way. And he goes down. The Bills got to him. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up. Another try following the sack. That's brought in by Mooney. Up to the races, middle of the field. And he's into the end zone for an Atlanta touchdown. The Falcons throwing 6 more on the blowout. 3 touchdown catches in one game is rare air, Brock. Safe to say most guys who retire can name every time they did that here in the NFL.
Yeah, I hope he remembers it, but also remember this. Receivers, they're a dependent position. They're dependent on the guys doing their job up front. They're dependent on the quarterback putting it on the spot. And usually, when you reach a milestone like this, you love to share it with everybody else. And my guess, especially if they could find a way to win this one, is this receiver will celebrate it with all of his guys.
First and 10, looking to throw. Forced out to his right. And he's tackled for a short gain.
Tick, 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 tick. You know, his internal clock right there told him it was time to escape, and good thing he listened to it. He was able to make something out of nothing and at least move them forward.
The Bills getting close, and they take him down. And that pushes them back. 3rd down coming up.
Kate, I've seen a one-step drop. I've seen a 3, a 5, a 7. Some of the boots and play actions get more depth, but a 20-step drop? That's not going to cut it, except for this defense that just adds a whole bunch of negative yards to that play.
Here he is on 3rd and long. That's caught for the first. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. It appears all that prep work and studying that you quarterbacks love to do in the build-up to the game, Brock, it has certainly paid off. This guy has picked apart this defense much of the contest.
This is one of those games you appreciate. There's going to be peaks, there's going to be valleys, there's going to be mountaintops. Just like pitchers don't have all their stuff every time out, well, when you do and you're electric, it's sure fun to play.
So the big play gets him inside the opposing 45, Brock, with a new set of downs to boot. Now looking to throw. Chased out to his right. Toward the sideline, and he's got it. And he stopped just before he reaches the red zone at the 21. This is the type of performance a former quarterback just like yourself, Brock, can marvel at. He's carried a great performance through much of this game. Even as the defense adjusted, tried to slow him down, none of it mattered.
I like the way you say that right there, Kate, because these moments the game does slow down. It is so fast on the field for the normal person, but when a QB's in a rhythm like this, the game is slow and he is dicing it.
They rip off a big chunk of field, and it sets him up with 1st and goal.
As much as you'd like to find a completion and get the ball out of your hands, when a play breaks down, you got to be able to make a play with your legs. His offense counts on his ability to evade pressure and occasionally make plays just like that.
Four downs now to get in. Here's 1st and goal. Running left is Robinson. Reaches the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. The Falcons continue adding to an insurmountable lead. It's a Bijan Robinson touchdown. Oh, look at this. He's setting up to throw. They left him wide open. It's complete. And he does quite a bit of damage before they finally take him down.
Just excellent effort on that catch. And a lightning quick transition from bringing that football in to getting vertical. He was not content for a second to end that play where he caught it. Any catch he makes, his intent is to put some serious yards on top of it.
Now they'll hit the line just outside the red zone following that big play. Wow, they're going to pass it here. Catch is made in close. And in for the Atlanta touchdown. So an exclamation point there. That caps off what, and I think you'd agree, Brock, has been a dominating performance.
Yeah, I would. Really in all phases, too. You know, I thought coming in that this would be a much closer game than how it's turned out to be. And you got to give credit where it's due. This offense has been outstanding throughout.
So the Falcons earn the win in this one. And this is exactly how they wanted to go into that bye week, partner, with a victory and some positives to build on in that nice extra time off.